Bama football practice is underway, and we're going to look at Kane Wommack and the defense. He spoke to the media yesterday. We got a chance to kind of just think about some of the things that he said and where this thing is going to be without the GOAT, Nick Saban. But you got to move on because Nick Saban's retired, and Kane Wommack is now the guy calling the shots on defense. We'll get into that as Alabama practice rolls on in Toasty, Tuscaloosa. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Thanks for hanging out with us. We know you got tons of choices as far as your Alabama coverage goes, but thank you for making us, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, part of your Bama day. Roll Tide, everybody, and let's get this party started. All right, there he is. Look, back on the scene again. Missed you talking Bama. You've been on the show, but you just haven't been on the Bama part of the show.
Yeah, I know. I mean, these contract negotiations have been really tense leading up to the season. Nick plays a hard bargain, but I'm back.
Hey, it was cool talking to Clint. We'll have him on more too.
Yeah, he offers such a wealth of knowledge and great insight on things, and it was good to have him on the program.
Mm-hmm. Different than us. I mean, we talk Bama every day too. He's just a different perspective when Clint's on, and kind of his expertise, and then you and I, we kind of give ours as well. But appreciate all of you guys, and I want to remind you the show's always presented by Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi, and don't forget as well that as you pimp out that man cave for football season, newlifeart.com, promo code Bama Tailgate. And right now, if you get the Saban calendar and you use Bama Tailgate, Daniel Moore will autograph it. So you'll have an autographed edition of the calendar when you use Bama Tailgate.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday or day before, and I told him, I said, you need to get that calendar from New Life Art because he's a big collector. And I said, use that Tailgate show. And he was like, oh, man, cool. He said, I'll log on and do it. That's what you need to do is log on to newlifeart.com.
Yeah, let me show you guys. Then we're going to bring on the guy it's actually kind of a good transition because here's the guy right here, right? That was the defensive coordinator. Kevin Steele said that last year. He's like, well, the real defensive coordinator's always been Nick Saban. That's his defense.
Yeah.
But you can see on the side there where Daniel Moore signs it, and that's really cool. Makes it a collector's item when, obviously when the guy signs it because it's such a big deal. So we'll kind of start there, and then we're going to talk about this Alabama defense. And I want to take a second and play a clip from Kane Wommack's press conference. Not the whole thing, but just a clip. And I want to start out, Brett, I want you to pay attention to a couple things. First off, he talks about starting faster. We saw that in the 8A game. They were horrible at the beginning of the game. Last year, it felt like there were times when that defense started slowly. There were some games where it finished slowly. But all in all, it was still a really good Saban defense when it was all said and done. Wommack's got the job of replacing Nick Saban and the fact that the secondary all ran to different spots before Kalen DeBoer even had a chance to talk to those guys. So let's play this. I want to get your thoughts on what he says because he talks about starting fast, and then he gets into some guys that he feels like should affect the passer. And I feel like those are the kind of guys that we need to get into on here as well.
If you look at us last season and you look at us in the spring, I didn't think we started particularly well on defense early in games. And then we started to hit our stride as the game went on. We've really encouraged our guys to start playing, not on their heels, but be the aggressor early. And that means playing with some instincts. And I think we're seeing that. Yeah. Well, I think, you look at pressure a number of different ways, right? Some of it is just natural. Can we go 4 down and be able to, create pressure on the quarterback off the edge? we are very focused on takeaways here and creating takeaways. And you create takeaways by creating pressure on the quarterback, right? We looked at all seven. There was like 751 takeaways in the NFL last season. All right. And out of those, right, the vast majority of them come from the pressure on the quarterback, whether they hit the quarterback, got hands on the quarterback, or they were able to put him in an uncomfortable position to where he forced to throw. And so for us, I think we've got some guys naturally that can do that off the edge. To me, Jamarian Latham, LT Overton, I think I've seen a lot out of that Wolf room right now. I think Keanu Coate, Quay Russaw, Q Robinson are doing some great things. And then you've got some younger guys like Yanze Pierre that are starting to step up. Keon Keeley off the edge of the field and Jordan Renat. I mean, I've really been pleased with some of the rush that we've been able to create. And then naturally, our backers and safeties have a lot of instinctive, what we call blitz awareness. We look for that whenever we're recruiting players. Does a second level player, have great blitz awareness? And I think we have that from a couple of our safeties and backers.
All right, there you go right there. I thought it was some good stuff. First off, I love the fact that they're already talking about being faster starters because and I felt like that was one of the biggest issues that the team had offensively and defensively last year.
Yeah, he was talking about playing fast, and it's really hard. And I was talking, during my day job to, high school football's kicked off, and we've got some new coaches here locally, and I asked them, well, how's the team looking? And they said, well, it's kind of hard to tell because of we wasn't here last year. We don't really. Well, we've looked at film and everything, but it's hard to get that vibe really early. But yeah, you want them to play fast. You see the practice footage from yesterday. He also talked about, and this is something that came up a lot last year, Mick, if you remember, talking about blitzing and pressuring the quarterback. A lot of folks thought we didn't do that enough. And that's something that Wolf position that he talked about, all those players, he's been real impressed with and trying to get that down. And like I say, we're 2 days into practice. They're, in reading some stuff, they're still shuffling people around. They're trying to find that right look. We're early in the process, but we have about 30 days or so to figure it out, 29 days or so to figure it all out. And I think they will. But how about that guy? It was 107-degree heat index. He was wearing a sweatsuit in practice. What is wrong with that guy?
Yeah, he was talking about that. He said that it was just something that he's done in the past. And that, he said that it was like to keep the sun off of him. And then, and it's like, it's so hot outside right now. You can't really do anything. These guys practice in the morning now. So they're probably practicing while some of you guys are actually watching the shows in the morning. And it's probably a good thing for Kalen DeBoer and the entire staff just to get it out of the way. It gives you the rest of the afternoon to do planning and watch film and all of that stuff. But I thought that was funny as well. Like he was out there in a sweatshirt.
Yeah. We had a high school coach here one time. It would be brutally cold in the playoffs, and he'd still be out there in shorts. And I thought, boy, that's the toughest old guy I've ever seen before in my life. I loved him for that. But anyway, I found that funny. But yeah, every day we'll start getting some news out of practice. And, a key thing about this is too, and we've seen this in the past, one thing you want to avoid is any type of injury, leading in, because we've seen that in the past. But, get off to a fast start. I mean, that's a great thing. Focus in on the takeaways, the quarterback rush. Normally, that's what produces that. And the Wolf position and how he is impressed with a lot of the guys that's been playing that rush.
Well, I feel like that's really where we're going to find out about what's going on. I mean, I'm keeping a close eye on the cornerbacks, and you got to figure Damani Jackson is going to be a starter, right? The transfer from USC with a year of experience. And then I want to know about Xavion Brown and Jalen Mbakwe. How quick is it going to take those guys to be able to go out there and play, 5-star players, but as freshmen, they're just out of high school? And then Deshaun Jones, the guy that transferred from Wake Forest, is he going to be someone that comes in there and has the spots? I mean, experience-wise, you'd figure to be Jones and Jackson, but talent-wise, Mbakwe, I think, is going to have more talent than any of those guys. Maybe Brown right there with them. I mean, it's not very Alabama-like because Nick Saban really never had a year where an entire group transferred. Now, there were years where some guys graduated, but there were always that next wave of guys. Kalen DeBoer and his staff had to go out and get a lot of these guys, although Nick Saban did bring in Jackson from USC. Remember, he visited Alabama when they were out there to play the Rose Bowl.
Right.
But, I mean, I feel like this is a group, and like he said, if you can get some of a pass rush, it's going to make that group a lot better, So when you start talking about who's getting after the quarterback, those guys, if Alabama can get some pressure up front, then it's going to make that secondary probably a lot less stressed out.
Yeah, and I agree with you on Mbakwe. I had a chance to watch him in high school. We played against them, and special player. The key thing about the youth and everything, look at the folks in the apartments across the street watching practice. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But the thing about the youth is this: it comes down to maturity, and it comes down to if you're willing to be coached.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys will be difference makers at some times, but at some point in time. But it depends on how mature they are and their willingness to work and be coached. If they will sit and listen to these guys, and like that maturity level, like I say, they're going to make mistakes, the young guys are, but it's how you recover from it and focus on the next play. These guys will be fine. These are talented athletes, and let's face it, DeBoer has walked into a treasure trove of talent when he walked into the job on day one. He's added to that. He's never had this kind of talent before.
Mm-hmm.
Look at his record. It speaks for itself.
I'm watching the edge guys, Jamarian Latham, LT Overton. Like, you got to get to the quarterback. I love the fact that he said the Wolf Room right now looks good.
Yeah.
Keanu Colt, Quay Russo, the two guys, Quindarius Robinson, 3 guys, hey, can those guys get out there and help? He also mentioned Yanze Pierre, someone else. And then the guy that I'm really interested in is Keon Keeley. Can Keon Keeley be that player that Alabama got when they got, I think, like a 5-star talent, someone that should be able to get after the quarterback? Is he someone that can get in there? They talked about blitz awareness. Is he a guy that's going to be able to be aware of the blitz, get in there, cause havoc? Because they are going to save that secondary. And he even mentioned, he's like, look, in the NFL, we watched the thing, like all the turnovers. He's like, most of them are because there's pressure. And Nick Saban used to call it affecting the passer. That's what this Alabama team's got to be able to do. They've got to be able to affect the passer. And then from there, be able to give those guys in the secondary, the Mbakwe's, the Browns, the guys that haven't played at Alabama before, Jackson and those guys, hey, here's a chance to kind of get used to this. We're not going to put you out on an island and then have these quarterbacks forever back there throwing and pick you apart. Confidence is such a big part of this game. And I think look, we're only the first week of practice. We haven't even had a handful of practices yet, so
right.
We got a long way to go. I'm not going to get into position battles yet because I don't think we're there, but I do think that the philosophy is right. What I'm hearing is exactly right.
Yeah.
Let's get after it. All right, guys. Pearl River Resort is an amazing place. They just offered Brett money to come back and then stay a couple days and then more money. It was like $400, wasn't it, Brett? Out of nowhere.
Yeah, $400 in free play twice.
They
That's
want you
like,
back.
uh-huh. And I was like, I may be making another visit soon.
Well, guys, you can do it right now. Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia. Go to the sports book, play $50 there, and you can go to Dancing Rabbit and play the Augusta of Mississippi, one of the best courses in the South, for just $40. They've got Geyser Falls, which is their water park, and a day like yesterday and a day like today, that would be out there and have some water fun in the heat. They've got the spa, table games, and slots over at Silver Star and Golden Moon. Find out for yourself. Even some great acts. Rodney Carrington is coming. They've got some more huge music acts that are on the way as well. All that at Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. And we appreciate them for bringing you the show each and every morning. All right, with that said, Brett Elmore takes over right after this quick message from our friends at Pearl River.
Escape to Pearl River Resort. They call him Big Sexy, coming at you from the Walker County. Jasper is his hometown. He's known for giving free rub-downs. Oh, Big Sexy, throwing out those Alabama thoughts, sneaking out your mom's window without getting caught. It gives you the XPs, but Big Elmo is here to please. Big Sexy Elmo on the Bama Tailgate Show.
There he is.
August 2. Today's August 2nd. And let's see what we got on the calendar today. Let's see. Celebrity birthdays. Actor Butch Patrick of the Munsters is 70. I think he was the kid, was he not?
Oh, yeah, that's Eddie. Eddie Munster.
Eddie Munster.
Little Eddie. Remember he had like the little Eddie Munster doll he used to carry around?
Yeah. Eddie Munster is celebrating a birthday today. Singer Mojo Nixon is 67 today. Don't know who that is. It's a very hold
on a second. You Mojo Nixon?
Yeah.
Now I got to figure it out because you said you didn't know who it was. Oh my God.
Who is it?
He looks like Eddie Munster.
Oh,
how about that? You say, let me pull this up. Like you said, you're like, well, Eddie Munster. And then you said Mojo Nixon.
Yeah.
And he looks just like Eddie Munster.
Wow.
Look, I got to get this on here.
Let's see this guy.
Well, this is fantastic. You're going to love this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, who would have thought?
Wow.
I mean, how is that? And
wow,
he's dead. I guess
Eddie
he's dead
Munster
now.
like.
And he's dead at 66.
Oh, well, he died this past year. Sorry, sorry, Mojo. I didn't know
you knew him so well. You knew him so well that you gave him a happy birthday shout out, and he's dead.
Sorry. Like I say, it's a slow day. Give me a break.
Yeah,
if you're looking for something to celebrate today,
you're just gonna roll right by that, huh?
Yeah, I've just got to. It's over with. National Coloring Book Day.
Oh, let's just check. I wonder if we can color a picture of Mojo along with Eddie Munster.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, you know how they used to have those games where it'd be like they're like the same picture twice, but certain things are missing.
Pick out what's wrong with each.
Circle them.
Yeah, I would still play those. I would still do that. Today's also National Ice Cream Sandwich Day.
Yeah, I mean, ice cream sandwich right up there with chocolate chip cookie. There's just certain things that, yeah, it might be basic stuff, but people love it. Like it's winning basic stuff, and I would say that's one of them.
Right. It was on this day in 1876. Frontiersman Wild Bill Hickok is shot and killed while playing poker at a saloon in Deadwood, Dakota Territory, by Jack McCall, who was later hanged. Legend holds that Hickok died holding a pair of aces and a pair of eights, now known in poker rounds as the dead man's hand.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but that was the old Wild West. I mean, we all know that. And it's it's kind of like recruiting in NIL is right now in college sports, right?
Yeah.
Dead man hand is like, it's like everybody.
That's right. 1975, one of these nights by the Eagles peaks out at number 1 on the charts.
Yeah, you're a big Eagles fan.
I like the Eagles.
The Eagles are going to be at the Spear.
I was going to say.
I was like, what's the video going to be for Lying Eyes?
Oh, that's a great question.
Eyes?
A reason to go.
Set of eyes.
A reason to go. A big set of crossed eyes. Just look, never mind. I won't get into that. I was like, you talk to someone and they have crossed eyes. It's like, which eye are you trying to look into? Sorry. I mean, everybody was thinking it. I mean, shut up. Don't give me any flack in the comments. You know what I'm talking about. You walk up to someone, they have crossed eyes, and you're like, hey, yeah. And then you're trying to figure it out. But anyway, Dancing Cowboys by the Bellamy Brothers peaked out at number 1 in 1980.
Okay. Don't know that one, but
you don't know Dancing Cowboys by the Bellamy Brothers? Dancing Cowboys. All right, well.
Maybe I do if I heard it. I don't know.
Oh, you would, Mick. You would know it. You'll look it up after the show, just like everybody else who don't know it. I saw the Bellamy Brothers at Curry High School Gymnasium back in the late 80s.
Wow. They must not have been doing too well.
They were. No, man. I mean, maybe not at that time, but anyway, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Alabama played Cordova High School's football field one time.
Did they? Oh, they're the best. Yeah, Alabama.
But
classic.
Anyway.
Dixieland Delight. I mean, it's play that during the football.
We'll be hearing that coming up soon.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be singing it hard. And let's see here. 2018, Apple becomes the first American public listed company to reach $1 trillion in value.
I remember back in college when people had MacBooks and I mean Mac computers, and they were like very rare. Like, I'm not that old, but I mean, I remember when you had to go to the computer lab for the most part. And it was like all the PCs, and then there were a few Macs, and the Macs had their own language, but they didn't have pop-ups. That's why I got them, because you'd get the other ones, and it would be like pop-up, 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 pop-up. You couldn't work. I mean, it would be like you'd just be like trying to beat the pop-ups off, And Mac for some reason didn't have them. They probably just created the pop-ups.
Right?
Everything Mac. I got Mac phones. I got Mac laptop. I got Mac. iMac and iPod.
Yeah, you're iMick. That's all you are, is iMick. And people get you made fun of me. We went to Pearl River to do a show, and I have, of course, my very nice laptop bag, and everything. And I whip out my laptop, and Mick looks at it in disgust. He's like,
looked old.
He's like, how old is that thing? And I said, well, it's not that old, and it does the job, pal. Jeez. He looked at me in disgust. And then there's people that look at me because I have this phone here, and they say, "You have a flip phone?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do, as a matter of fact." And it folds out into a regular phone. People make
Is
fun
that
of
a
me of being an
BlackBerry?
Android guy.
Is that a BlackBerry flip phone?
That's an Android. That's a Samsung.
Just asking.
It's Z Flip.
Oh, okay. Yeah. BlackBerry
Yeah.
Z Flip?
No, it's not a BlackBerry. I had a BlackBerry.
They were like, for a while, they had I want to say they had 70% of the market or something there for a minute.
Yeah, I had a BlackBerry back in the day. Sure did.
Okay.
But anyway, that's a look at this day in history. And I guess we'll look forward to another day of practice. I think they're practicing today. I need to look at the schedule and see what the practice dates. And we got Fan Day coming up. Don't forget about that. A big difference in that is you've got to be a member of the Yay Alabama to go on the field and get the autographs.
Well, they've got to raise money, man. I mean,
yeah.
I get it. I hate that it's not free anymore.
That goes to the NIL. So that's one different thing. And also we didn't touch on it, but I do want to mention it. But it is so far ahead. It's from your neck of the woods down in Viger. Class of 27, edge guy Jabarius Garrer has committed to Alabama. He's a 6'2", 215 edge from Mobile. Chose Alabama over Auburn, Michigan, and LSU. But like I say, and we were talking about it off the air, we may be dead by the time he gets here. Who knows? That's a long time away. That is a long time away.
Well, he's one of the starters of that 27 class.
Yeah, that's right.
That's pretty cool. All right, guys, have a great day. Roll Tide.